In this video, I'm going to be talking about the next blue light hotspot, which is Argentina. I have to tell you, I've been getting a lot of requests for me to talk about your country, and especially after I talked about Ireland. I had a lot of people writing from Scotland and from England, and whoa, was I hearing a lot from Wales because I managed to leave them out. And so for sure, I thought, well, it's just kind of a natural leap for me to do a little reading on those three countries. All right, so this is how it went. I'm going to do a reading on those areas. I'm going to check and see what the blue light is. So remember I said that the blue beings of light will kind of give me this blue light breadcrumbs along the way. Well, this is how it happened, because I was definitely going to go to Scotland next, and it felt like I was grabbed by my ankles. I felt like I was dragged along the ground, kind of bumping along the boulders and everything, all the way across the Atlantic, all the way to South America, to Argentina. I was dragged all the way down to the lower, we'll just say the lower 50% of Argentina. There was an enormous, deep, gaping hole. And at the base of the gaping hole was all this blue light. There were all these blue light beings standing around. And I go, and there, that's where we want you to look. So just to let you know, I tried to do it, but Argentina's next. And this is the exciting part about Argentina. I'm pretty sure it's one of the first below the equator line, or it definitely is below in the Southern Americas. So this whole time I kept wondering, why are we not going there? Well, today we're going there. So let me just kind of leap in. So I really panned back in my meditation, and I'm looking at Argentina, and I know that the blue star beings wish for me to look at this gash, but I wanted to get a sense of everything that's going on in Argentina. And what I can tell you is, I don't know much about Argentina, but there was just layers and layers and layers and layers upon layers of, can I call it like fighting or war, or being taken over and then being taken over by somebody else and somebody else. So there was this sense of an identity loss, or not a sense of identity. So there was that, and it's just kind of piled up, kind of stacked really high. If I tuned in, it'd be like if you cut, down into the soil and you look at the different layers of the soil, and it will tell you different things geologically. So it's quite similar to that, but it was like, all right, during this phase, it might have been the Spaniards. During this phase, it might have been the Aztecs. During this phase, it might have been this, that, and the other. So I could really feel that. The other thing was that I had this overwhelming sense of dragons. I'm just going to say thousands of dragons. And then when I kind of panned back even more, I could see dragons circling over that part of South America, the main part of Argentina. There were some really large dragons that were flying over that gash kind of part, but there were even more dragons around the upper 50% of Argentina. And in the upper 50%, I was noticing there was this light blue color, very similar to the color of my shirt. So I thought, all right, dragons, loads of dragons. So then they took me back to the very first place that they really wanted me to see. And that was that, look, I'm going to call it a gash. I think I wrote in my notes, gash, like 3 times. And it's almost like what they were showing me is like, if you get a cut on your arm or a cut on your leg and it's a deep gash and it can go all the way down to the bones, it's like it just cuts through layers of nature. Now, there is a big sense about nature and a big sense about Argentina almost being like the seed, what would you call it? The seed bed, the seed base of nature, almost like it's so rich in that nature that it could seed the rest of the world with nature. I don't even know how to explain it, but that's how it came through to me. So then I'm looking at that gash, and then I can feel overwhelmingly a lot of mines. I'm like, are these underground caverns? Because I could also sense these dragons going in and out of that hole. So I didn't know if it was just a portal, but I really got a strong sense of like a lot of mines. So whether it's gems or diamonds or gold or silver or, whatever people mine for, copper, it was just a lot of mines. And what the information came through from the blue beings, the star beings were saying is that there's been so much mining there that there's almost like a balance that needs to happen around the world to keep almost like the magnetic balance, almost about keeping the magnetic flow, the atmospheric flow, the weather flow, and I know that we need trees for that, but I guess I never really thought about all the different types of minerals in the earth serving an enormous purpose in the balance of the whole earth. Now, I know I'm like, duh, Nancy, of course it does, but I just never thought about it. So there is an imbalance that's happening there, and there's a lot of mining that's happening there. And it sounds like it's almost at a pay attention level. All right, pay attention, like asking humanity to pay attention to how much is being taken or being mined in Argentina. How much is really impacting the nature there? Because if Argentina is a seed bank of a variety of plants that could reseed the whole world, it's like there's this sense that we really have to watch that. So now I'm seeing the dragons go everywhere. So then they take me up to, well, let me just go back to the gash. It was like, to me, it was like, do something, do something, do something, do something, do something now. So it was kind of like that a sense of urgency. It wasn't like a crisis, but it was like, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Okay. Now I'm going up to the upper part of Argentina. And like I said, it's this light blue, and the energy there is incredibly beautiful. It was almost had this feel of utopia. This utopia, meaning it's just a beautiful, balanced, harmonious place to be. I heard that there were a lot of really good people doing a lot of really good things in that upper part of Argentina. And that because I'm hearing those of you in Argentina, your head's in the right space. Your spiritual direction is in the right space. You're visionary. That's what I'm hearing. Like really strong visionary, very strong prophetic abilities is awakening a lot in humanity of the upper Argentinian part of the country. And we're doing a lot of good there, and I'm seeing a lot of the dragons flying around. And so then the message came to get the message to those in that area to really kind of lift up and start doing your homework a bit more. And I don't want to imply at all that you're not doing your homework. And I don't even want to imply that you don't really know what's going on with the mining. But what I do want to imply is this strong message, this deep, dark blue. It's trying to heal that gap. It's trying to heal where the mining has kind of stripped away from the soil, any of the minerals. And it's rapidly attempting to repair that. And they're not saying it has to stop, but what I'm hearing is being more mindful about what you're doing, and not just thinking of your country. And I could say this to all the countries, but your country of Argentina in relationship to the world. and all the countries in the world and their relationship to you. So we really are moving in that direction to communicate at a more global level. So now I'm really curious about the dragons. So I will tell you that then I went to do my Dr. Google search, and sure enough, there were very large dragons, bird-like dragons, and they are called the dragon of death. So I don't know what the dinosaur dragon name for it is, and I am not even going to try to say it, but it goes by the dragon of death. It is in a museum, the one they found. It looks like a large bird with a very large tail and a gigantic wingspan of 30 feet. It's 86 million years old. But what I found about this was also that they're finding the largest sets of dinosaur bones, variety of them, in the world. So it's almost like I'm getting this vision of Jurassic Park, where you see the vegetation and the jungle and the beauty, and then suddenly this enormous beast comes moving out of the jungle. That's that scene that I have, this very ancient scene in Argentina. So you have that, and you can look it up and let yourself go down that rabbit hole to my intuitive archaeologists. So I did look it up, and yes, Argentina has an incredible rich mineral supply for the world, has some of the largest mines in the world, and that they are mining all kinds of things. I think the list was like 30 different things that they are in a constant state of mining. So the blue beings of light, the star beings are, they're there by the thousands, and they're really trying to work to heal the soil in that area and preserve the minerals. However, there are a lot of the star beings that are communicating, I am being told, by this area in Upper Argentina. So let's see here. All right, I'm going to try to pronounce this. San Miguel de Tucumán. San Miguel de Tucumán. San Miguel de Tucumán. So on the map, it's just spelled Tucuman. And for all of those of you who really try to be helpful to me to hear the pronunciation, I actually looked it up this time, and I still can't do it. But I'm trying. So there seems to be a lot of some old authoritarian rule. I did not look up the politics, but I can just feel that there's layers of authoritarian rule that's being dismantled. I will say the theme here is nature's seed bank, that there is natural resources in Argentina of the likes that probably none of us have ever seen. They did tell me that there's a lot of animals there. There's a lot of plants. There's a lot of insects that haven't even been discovered. They're also telling me that back in the day, so let's say 86 million years ago, that there were trees there that were so enormous, they may take up the whole city where I live, not just a city block, but their base would have been really enormous. So they did come from an area where it used to have very large trees. So there is a very large underground communication system amongst some of the ancient roots, even if those ancient trees no longer exist. So what am I saying here? I'm just letting you know, from what I can see, what I was told, what I was dragged to do was to put Argentina on the blue map of the place that's being increasingly uplifted by the blue light and the blue star beings. There is going to be a large diamond light that's going to come into that area as well, but just to know, the star beings are working with you in that upper part of San Miguel de Tucumán. De Tucumán. All right, I think I've got it there. And so just know, if you're waking up and you're feeling star beings around you, or guides or angels around you, they may be tapping you on the shoulder, tapping you for the task of, let's explore if we can do this mining in a more naturally healthy way. So that's wonderful. So thanks everyone for tuning in. It would be lovely if, you want to do a little meditation on Argentina and just send out, a little bit of love there for the earth that's maybe just struggling a little bit from having so much harvested from the soil. But please know that it's being actively worked on, and there are people in that country who are beautifully aligned with their country, who are helping boots on the ground. All right, take care, everyone. I look forward to seeing you on the next Blue Light Hotspot.